I'm sure most of you are familiar with the LRA and the atrocities that have been committed by the LRA. And I haven't read any well-documented presentation in terms of how many victims suffered at the hands of the LRA, how many Ugandans or Congolese have died, how many have been maimed, disfigured, raped, traumatized. But I am quite willing to say that I believe many people here today are not aware that regardless of the atrocities that have been committed by the LRA, when compared with the atrocities that have been perpetrated by the Ugandan government of Yoweri Museveni, a close ally of the United States, the atrocities committed under his regime, which is going on towards a quarter century now, is probably 10 or 20-fold worse than what has been done by the LRA. So, why is this unknown? Because of the narrative. And that is the problem with corporate media. When the presentation is always there has to be one good side and one bad side. But in the Ugandan case, the LRA and Yoweri Museveni are actually two sides of the same coin. And Museveni actually is the worst side of this coin. Not many people are aware that under the guise of wanting to quote-unquote pacify northern Uganda and stabilize northern Uganda and restore quote-unquote peace, nearly 2 million Ugandans belonging to the Acholi ethnic group were confined in camps, which were clearly concentration camps, which, according to a report by the World Health Organization that came out in 2005, in those camps, set up allegedly to protect citizens from the atrocities of the LRA, set up by the Ugandan government. There was as many as 1,000 excess deaths occurring per week. And even the LRA would admire and be envious of such kill rates had they ever come close to completing this kind of kill rate. 1,000 per week, meaning maybe 52,000 in 1 year. And some of those camps have been in existence for more than 20 years, meaning quite possibly, perhaps more than 500,000 to 1 million people were killed by a government-designed program, which I call planned neglect. And yet this was never in the front pages of the New York Times or any major magazine. And this is not to say that the atrocities committed by the LRA, including the mutilations, where you have these ugly images of people with no lips, no ears, and no limbs, should not be reported on. But do you report that and ignore the possible slow-motion death by slow-motion genocide of perhaps 1 million Ugandans? That is the challenge that hopefully this kind of gathering can help end, and help end this silence, this atrocious silence, abetted and aided by the United States government, which has been an ally of the Museveni regime for decades.